And joining me live now for some analysis on the situation in Bakhmut is Peter Almayev. He's the director of the Eurasia Democracy Initiative. He's live in Kyiv tonight. Thanks for joining us on the program, sir.
Sure. Good evening.
How long do you think Ukrainian forces can hold on now in Bakhmut?
Well, it's, I think, the fact that they have held on as long as they have speaks volumes about not only Ukrainian will to resist a much larger force, but the fact that the Russian army, once again, the vaunted second largest army in the world, for 8 months now and counting, has been essentially killing itself to get the city, which is once again largely of political symbolics to Vladimir Putin and maybe Yevgeny Prigozhin, the chief of the Wagner group that is fighting there. But it has very little strategic value. We've seen these sort of Pyrrhic victories that Russia has had earlier in Lysychansk and in Severodonetsk, which they captured, but at the same time ran out of steam to continue their battle operations. And this is what's happening with the newly mobilized troops, which Russia is sending there, including with the convicts of the Wagner group, who are dying by the hundreds and thousands every day. And that's why Ukraine has made a strategic choice to hold on to Bakhmut as long as possible, to have as much of the Russian army essentially attrit itself and spend itself fighting for it. And I think when Ukraine decides to withdraw, it could come at any moment. As a matter of fact, that will be the moment where the calculation will have changed, where it will be more feasible to withdraw and to see whether Russians can continue their assault after Bakhmut if they capture, which is a very big question that remains.
As you say, though, this isn't a city of particular strategic importance. It's more one that's symbolically been a big goal for Russia for many months now. So if Russia is to take it, symbolically at least, it would be a blow for Ukraine, wouldn't it?
Well, we had a similar, once again, we had a similar situation in those little towns that I mentioned, and also Mariupol. It makes sense, sort of as a symbol of resistance, to hold on to these towns for as long as it's possible. But I think deep down, military logic still prevails, and that is once again to have Russia spend itself, but also to prevent it from deploying elsewhere, including Zaporizhia and other parts of Ukraine, which is something that obviously Russia is considering. So, at the rate that the Russian army is going, let me just say, the next stop, if they capture Bakhmut, are the cities of Kramatorsk and Slavyansk, which are veritable redoubts, fortresses. It will take them much longer to capture them, if ever. And at the rate they're going, some, I think, mathematician has calculated for them to capture the entirety of Ukraine, which remains Vladimir Putin's goal, I believe, at least officially. He's not given up on that idea. It will take them 2,000 years. 2,000 years, that's what I heard. It would take them to capture all of Ukraine.
OK, so based on that logic, Vladimir Putin has quite a way to go. But nonetheless, as you say, he is pressing on. And there's been much talk of this spring offensive that we were expecting from Russia. Based on the people you're talking to, based on the research you've done, is it your understanding that spring offensive has begun? What does it look like? Where's Russia's focus right now?
Russia's focus is once again capturing the rest of the Donbass and then potentially proceeding to capture the rest of Zaporizhia. Obviously, a main task for them will be to defend this land bridge that they built to Crimea, which remains probably the greatest asset that they have. I believe that, and from what I understand, speaking with my colleagues, with military experts, this offensive has already begun. Not to say that they have deployed all of their freshly mobilized forces. Some of them are still in training. We may expect up to 100,000 more cannon fodder, because that's what it is to be thrown into this oven in Ukraine. Whether they will achieve any significant successes, once again, you read the analysis by the Institute for the Study of War, British intelligence, Ukrainian military intelligence. It seems that we can expect more of the same. That's why you hear about constant talk about peaceful, some kind of peace talks, some kind of a ceasefire agreement. I go on international programs with and I'm coupled with various Russian officials and representatives, and they constantly talk about Ukraine not being willing to negotiate, which tells me that Vladimir Putin also understands that at this rate, his army will be a completely spent force. So I think he's now doubling down on the strategy to try to freeze the conflict at this current front line, so he can start rebuilding his army, so he can attack Ukraine again sometime down the road.
Peter Almayev talking to us there live from Kyiv. Thank you very much indeed, sir.